All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking about real music, or a music related event, and doing it in real time for real people just like you, just like me. Pray for Israel, number one. Number two, don't forget to sign up for Patreon if you haven't done so. It's $1 a month, $2 a month, whatever you can afford. And then YouTube memberships. This content's going to be a little bit different than my typical content. 260 people are dead following a music festival in Israel. So if you haven't heard about this, it's in the news, but this article breaks it down in detail. An electronic music festival was among the sites in Israel attacked during this weekend's deadly incursion by the militant Islamic organization Hamas. The event, presented by Tribe of Nova, took place in the Negev Desert, a secular commune 3 miles from the Gaza border, whose name translates to friends. Promoted as the first Israeli offshoot of the long-running Brazilian Psy-Trance. Now, if you don't know what Psy-Trance is, you're not missing very much. Apparently, David Lee Roth likes this kind of music. That's what he says. This was an offshoot of the long-running Psy-Trance festival Universo Paralelo, and billed as Supernova. It coincided with the end of Sukkot, the Jewish holiday that celebrates the harvest and holds spiritual importance to Jews in regard to its themes of eschewing materialism in favor of spirituality and hospitality. Well, it's opposite day at the festival. In other words, it's like the night before Thanksgiving when everybody goes out and gets hammered because they're so thankful that tomorrow is Thanksgiving that they get so wasted that they can't even have Thanksgiving dinner. This happens all over the country here in the United States, by the way. In the initial promotional materials for the event, rendered chilling in the aftermath of the bloody attack, organizers noted the central driving force behind Universo Paralelo, or Parallel Universe, is a set of fundamental and important human values. Okay, let's hear it. Free love. Okay, first thing I really care about is free love. That was big in the late 1960s, and people realized later on that that was a hollow pursuit. They've got the word spirit here, but it's rather undefined. I'm sure it's not the Holy Spirit. It's some other spirit. Environmental preservation, of course. Yes, what better way to preserve the environment than having a festival where everybody gets wasted? Appreciation of rare natural values, not natural resources. It's a natural value. This is what the festival embodies. I'm not even sure what that means. Again, they define what parallel universe is, and it's the native language of the land of Samba from which the festival originates. The word supernova refers to the explosion of a massive star causing an immense burst of light in galactic terms. The event description continued, and this sounds very John Lennon. We can only imagine when these concepts intertwine during the upcoming Sukkot holiday. So essentially, it's kind of like hijacking Columbus Day or something. They're hijacking this Sukkot holiday and trying to impose their own values on top of what has been a traditional Jewish holiday for who knows how long. We assume that you can already imagine the result. So again, the word imagine pops up. Or perhaps not, they say in parentheses. Boy, that's a cryptic statement. And this was prior to the attack. The music festival was among the first targets for Hamas militants as they launched their unprecedented attack on Israel. Just after 6:30 a.m., the attacks began with a barrage of missiles, which attendees watched fly over the festival as music cut out. In other words, the DJs ran, and a warning siren sounded. Soon after, Hamas gunmen swept through the festival site by foot, truck, motorcycle, paraglider, ATV, shooting into the crowd and grabbing hostages as disoriented festival attendees scrambled for cover. Festival goers described how the gunmen blocked roads, ambushed escaping cars, and scoured the area looking for people to kidnap. As reported, for over 6 hours, concert attendees hid without help from the Israeli army. Remember, they were preoccupied as Hamas militants sprayed automatic gunfire and threw grenades. We were hiding and running and hiding in an open field, the worst place you could possibly be in that situation. Yep, this according to Arik Nani from Tel Aviv, who had gone to the party to celebrate his 26th birthday. For a country where everyone in these circles knows everyone, this is a trauma like I could never imagine. According to Mali Ben Hamim, the music stopped and sirens went on. Rockets started covering the sky, and we realized we had to run. And get this. According to Ben, his name is Ben Haim, I butchered it, almost everybody was really wasted on many kinds of drugs. And as the person who never did drugs, I took the car keys from a friend I met that night and started driving like crazy to escape. We went through a main road, but after a minute, someone started screaming that terrorists are shooting people there, and so I had to make a U-turn ASAP. But after 2 minutes, in the other direction, we realized that there are more terrorists there as well. We just heard those shootings all over the place and didn't know where to go. People who stayed at the party started getting kidnapped or killed, and we knew we had to run. But where to? Now, because they were all on drugs, all kinds of drugs, and really wasted, my guess is some of them probably thought it was some kind of a joke, or it wasn't real, or they just didn't have any reaction time. They go on to talk about how people were hiding under, bushes and under leaves and so forth. The Nova tribe is shocked and pained. We support and participate in the grief of the families of the missing and the murdered. Well, that's not going to help the murdered. We are doing everything we can to assist the security forces. They are in continuous contact and are located in the field during scans and searches in order to locate the missing. We are full of hope and pray. Oh, they're going to pray that good news will come to us and to you soon. By the way, the organizers of the event have since made their Instagram page private. Raz Gaster, who manages several of the DJs scheduled to play the event, described the whole thing as just chaos and terror. Apparently, he spoke with Billboard magazine. We went out of the backstage and we saw a full bombardment everywhere. It was hundreds of rockets and mortars flying from all directions, explosions all around us. It just goes on and on. The production house quickly became a command center of sorts, he explained. People still on site would send their locations to the festival production team, who would in turn notify the owner of the festival so he could attempt to find them. Yeah, that's the only way, I guess, to organize at this point. As a group of between 15 and 20 people gathered at the production villa, Gaster continued, they started seeing videos on social media of hostages and people we know that are kidnapped in bodies we could recognize as our friends. The families of many festival attendees are still awaiting word from their loved ones following the attack. Relatives searching for missing people at a nearby intersection said more than 1,000 people were at the event when the militants attacked. However, some festival goers estimated the true figure was closer to 4,000 people at this event. Man. So many families have not heard back from people who went. Gaster says, we are a peaceful community. We are a musical community. We do it for the creation of fun. We only wanted to dance and have a good time and enjoy music together, and it turned into a nightmare. All true. The festival was one of many sites attacked in the large-scale Hamas incursion into Israel over the weekend. More people died in Israel in a single day than any other day since, well, Israel became a state. Around 700 Israelis had died, but that figure now has hit 1,000. At least that's what I've heard. The health ministry said at least 413 Palestinians had been killed, and that was by the time Israel started their counterattacks. Now, a couple of things to note here. Number one, these electronic music festivals, even if you don't have a terrorist attack, there was one, I think, in Dallas or Austin a year or two ago. Some crazy stuff started happening there where people were just, passing out and dying. I think a couple of people just, for whatever reason, keeled over. Some of us speculated maybe they had been to CVS, or maybe the frequency of some of this music. I know that's a bit of a far-fetched idea, but it's plausible. Some of the music itself, they call it psytrance. If you've got like 20-year-olds that are living under your roof, and so you're still saying to them, hey, can you live by my rules since you're not paying any rent? Maybe you shouldn't go to this psytrance concert, just because you love your kids and you don't want them to die. And then now we have this security issue. All right. Now, I don't care what you think about who did what, the politics of why this happened. When people become savages, you cannot convince me for any reason that that behavior is acceptable. This is the bottom line. All right? You may have offended them. You have taken their land. You have done a whole number of things to them, possibly, right? I'm not saying that one country is blameless and the other one is perfect or whatever. This is an ideology that dates back to Abraham and Sarah. Dates back way back, okay? So here we are in the year 2023, and we're still dealing with this. So again, the politics of it, important, but the issue here is now we've got a security threat. They have these festivals all over the place here in the United States, and they're already unsafe places, even without the terrorism. So again, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in this situation. We have to do a U-turn, like that guy trying to drive and he couldn't go any further, and he had to do a U-turn and he was still surrounded by terrorists. Okay? We don't want to get to that point. Politically, philosophically, spiritually, we need a massive U-turn. We need to turn this thing around. And I don't think many of us are prepared to do that, just like the people at this electronic music festival. They're all wasted. Jesus said in the last days, people will be drinking, they'll be eating, they'll be getting married, they'll be doing the things that they've always done. And then all of a sudden, all of this stuff is going to happen. Case in point, right? So again, don't look at the politics of this. Look at the humanity. When people become this savage, there's not much else you can do other than prevent them from doing those things. And I did this video on the other channel yesterday, and, it's really against a lot of my peace-loving views to some degree, but, I've seen this over decades now, where a certain group of people, they keep coming back. Now, I'm not saying that politics doesn't play a role in this, but, if you've got angry bees, right, and it's just a breed of bee, and so you tip the hornet's nest a little bit, or the bee's nest, whatever, and the bees go crazy because that's their breed. You should know not to do that, maybe, but if it's a real toxic breed, that breed probably needs to heal. All right? It needs to be brought to heel. And I know that's a cruel thing to say because, again, I'm not trying to brand everybody and put them in the same group, but I'm starting to think that maybe Harry Truman had a point. You know, if you're a music fan, go listen to Harry Truman by the band Chicago, mid-70s, Robert Lamb, during the Watergate era. America needs you, Harry Truman. Harry, won't you please come home? Harry's long gone. And that version of America, I think, is also long gone. So, you know, everybody's going to be debating about the politics of this. This is very clear cut to me. Bad people doing atrocious, unthinkable things. Those people, they need to be stopped. They need to be prevented from doing those things. As far as EDM music festivals, no, bad idea. Should we ban them? I don't know if we should ban them. Besides, these guys would target a different kind of music festival. Maybe you can bring your 20-something-year-old kids home and lock them in the room somewhere, and you can have them listen to Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Aerosmith, just give them the full Monty of classic rock. And who knows? Maybe they'll be like, oh, this is good. Where can I go listen to this? Well, most of these bands, you know, they're not out there anymore. Or there's like one original member and he's hanging on by a thread. But just maybe you can get these kids to listen to some real music, right? Instead of psy-trance. That does not sound good. Where are you going, Johnny? I'm going to get some psy-trance. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. And you could say, look, back in the late 60s, you know, sparking up a doobie, going to see, you know, Carlos Santana or whoever. Okay, yeah, that's not the greatest, but again, matter of degrees. That was like a romper room moment, and now we're way down the road, and we're in a place now where it's a rubber room versus a romper room. You know, you had basics, you had some substance abuse there, and yeah, people definitely had these experiences, but most of it was not to this extent now, where the purpose is just to go there to be all put in a trance. I mean, you could go to I'm going to be mean here. You could go to a really good charismatic church if you want to go into a side trance, but that's a whole other video. Now that I've offended everybody I know, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching the channel. God bless you if you put up with this video. I know this is way outside the norm, but we're in some serious times right now. 260 people at a concert, and they're dead. And there's a philosophy, and or an ideology rather, not a philosophy. And I think we need to confront that. Didn't work the first time because we took our eye off the ball. You have to kind of finish the job, and hence that's where Harry Truman comes in. So again, is that harsh? Yep. Do I feel comfortable with it? Nope, I don't. But that's because I'm a human being, and I don't want to see other human beings die or suffer when that doesn't have to happen. But what's the solution? There was a flood once. Remember that? It's in the Bible. It's fire and brimstone. It rained down on a certain place. That happened. Might happen again. And so there are a number of precedents for what I am suggesting. And I'm not suggesting a large-scale thing. I'm just suggesting a targeted thing. But we really need to look at this. And if you enjoy going to concerts, if you enjoy being a free human being, then I think you need to get on board with this because it's common sense. It'd be nice to just speak it out of existence and say, go away. Doesn't work. Anyway, folks, I will put the link to the other video, which is probably just as annoying as this video, but you may want to watch it like a double feature at the movie theater. Like you got this one, you get the other one. And then, you can do your laundry, you can cook to it, you can fold clothes, whatever it is you do. Driving down the road, people tell me they listen driving down the road. I'm turning into a podcast, so you can listen down the road. 20-minute video. Holy crap, Batman. All right, people. God bless you all. Thank you. See you soon.